Welcome to my channel, where we talk about everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election. In this video, I want to talk about polling or election polling. But first, let us get it straight. Polling is a scientific endeavor and it's also a business. It is a business that people do both for political parties, businesses, and organizations who wanted to sound out how they are perceived in the public's eye. So if I have a business, I want to start producing, let's say, a detergent, I can source for a polling company that can help me do research to find out the things that people don't like in detergents that are already in the market. So the feedback I get from them, and I also like them to know what the people like in the detergents that they buy, they prefer. It will give me an idea of kind of things that I need to put inside my own detergent to be ahead of the market. Now, polling is a business. There are those, it is their core strength. They have the staff, they have the mentality to do polls, especially for during elections. In 1935, George Gallup formed the Gallup polls. And since that 1935, Gallup has been making opinion polls in America and around the world. And if you look at opinion poll that came out recently, in which Mr. Peter Obi led, you discover that most of those who conducted those opinion polls, they are professionals, but they were hired by people to do that opinion poll. For example, Ahmed Foundation hired NOI polls because that is their core strength to do the opinion poll. When Bloomberg, whose core strength is in news and television, wanted to do opinion poll in the Nigerian election, it hired a polling company. It didn't do it by itself. So that is how these things are done. Which now brings me to the opinion poll that was done by Fitch Ratings did an opinion poll. I didn't call it even opinion poll. It just came up with a report saying that Peter Obi is not likely to win the 2023 presidential election, that it is Bola Ahmed Tinubu that is likely to win. I'm doing this video to show you that Fitch is wrong. And I also want you to understand that doing opinion poll is not their core area of strength. They ought to have hired a polling company to do that, but they did it by themselves without telling us how they come about this data, except from all indication, these are purely speculative. What they did was purely speculative that could not stand the test of scientific scrutiny at all. And I will prove it to you in this video that they lied. And I stand to stay here that they lied, that Tinubu is more likely to win the 2023 presidential election. But here I stand to tell you that Peter Obi is more likely to win than Tinubu. And I want to take my time and tell you why I come to this conclusion, why I come to the conclusion of disproving Fitch rating. Now, before I start going on that, if you are new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you will be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like the video and share it widely so that other people can see it. Thank you very much. Now, first of all, let us look at the foundation of Fitch Ratings. Fitch Rating is a leading provider of credit ratings, commentary and research for global capital markets. So that is its core strength. You look at countries and look at, is their economy good enough? Are they credit worthy? They rate countries by their credit worthiness in terms of advising banking institutions around the world whether that country deserves to be given credit or not to be given credit. That is basically what it is. Now, it is not known for pre-election predictions. That's not its core strength. It is not known for pre-election predictions. It has not been known for it. That is not its core strength. And I will show you a typical example. Before the 2020 presidential election in America, Fitch did a prediction which entitles Drawn Out US Presidential Election Scenarios Highlights Governance Risk. He said, this is what he titled it: Drawn Out US Presidential Election Scenario Highlights Governance Risk. Drawn Out US Presidential Election Scenario Highlights Governance Risk. That was the title of the prediction that he made ahead of the American election in 2020, the presidential election. This was published in New York on October 12, 2020. And this is what is projected that will happen in that election. He said, the result of the US presidential election are likely to take longer to determine than usual, given the sharp rises in mail-in voting this year and logistical challenges of physical polling places caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Uncertainty in determining the winner could conceivably last for weeks after the November 3 election day. Look at what Fitch predicted will happen. He said there will be uncertainty about who won the election for weeks. But you and I know that was not true. The winner of that election, the Democratic Party, Joe Biden, won in the first ballot. There was no waiting for weeks to get that result. It didn't take weeks as Fitch erroneously predicted. And the person that lost, which was Joe Biden, the person that lost, which was Donald Trump. Donald Trump only was protesting, but he didn't stop the outcome of the result. The result was already known. He was only challenging some states and all that, but already the result was known. It didn't take weeks. It didn't take weeks. The result was out. So that was one of the only indication that Fitch had ever been involved in predicting election outcomes. And why it is surprising that Fitch did this thing by himself. He didn't hire professionals to do it, professional companies that specialize in pulling to do his pulling. He did it on Nigeria. In America, he did it by himself, obviously. And look at the outcome. They were wrong. They were dead wrong. And that's why I believe that they will also be dead wrong in predicting the outcome of the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria. Okay? Then the only one thing that Fitch, I believe, will happen, which they predicted, which I think they will be right, but you don't need to be a soothsayer to know this. He said that if that Bola Tinubu will win, but there will be protests and social discontent, that the election was compromised. It is a certainty that if the APC lead this election, there will be protests. Only God knows how the protests will end. There will be serious protests if the thing is rigged against the popular wish of Nigerians. So we don't need Fitch to tell Nigerians that. There will be consequences if the election is rigged, because the anger in Nigeria has reached above the neck of Nigerians. So that's why those who are advising INEC not to use beavers, not to use electronic transmission of results in the election, that some places it cannot be used, they better watch it, because Nigerians cannot take it. The Electoral Act 2022 must be followed to the letter. That is it. So in that case, Fitch was actually right. That's the only place I give them, the only point they made that I can say, okay, they are right on this. That if this election is compromised and Tinubu wins, there is likely to be massive protests nationwide against the outcome. Now, let me also continue to tell you why I disagree with Fitch in his prediction that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu will win. Now, I've told you that the only thing I agree with them is that there will be protests. There will be serious protests if Tinubu is declared winner and he wasn't the right guy to be declared winner. If there's a compromise of the election, if there's malpractices, you can bet on that they are right. But to me, that's not even a project. Already it's already gathering in the atmosphere. Everybody could feel it. Because if the election is rigged, I think what happened during the NSAS in 2020 may just be a child's play to what will play out. So that's why we pray that the government should be reasonable and allow free and fair election, so that whoever wins will have the support of all Nigerians. Now, Fitch also said that a win for the APC candidate will likely fuel sentiments of perceived marginalization among Christians, while supporters of his opponents may take to the streets to question the fairness of the electoral process. Well, we all know that because of the APC and the Muslim tickets, religion is going to play a big role in this election. It's going to make a serious impact. It's going to have a serious impact in this election. And we don't need Fitch to tell Nigerians about that. Now look at how Fitch got his information. According to the statement by Fitch, this is what they said. He said comments or data are solely derived from Fitch Solutions, country risk, and industrial research and independent sources. So Fitch, in according to his conclusion, did not tell us how he got his data. All he's telling us is that it's derived from their Fitch Solution, country risk, and industrial research and independent sources. What is independent sources? What's the difference between what they did from what any newspaper in Nigeria could have done from sources and present it as if it is truth? So you can see that the Fitch data, we don't know how they got it. So they are not in a good position to say that their own assessment is better. So I don't think Nigerians should take them seriously. And look at what they said again as they go further. They say at Fitch Solutions, we believe that recent polls, they are now talking about the polls that shows that P2B will win. They want to demarcate that one. They want to criticize those polls. Look at what they said. He said at Fitch Solutions, we believe that recent polls are significantly overstating support for Peter Obi, the Labour Party candidate running in Nigeria's February 2023 presidential election. Surveys showing that Obi is ahead of his opponents, Bola Tinubu, All Progressive Congress, Atiku Abubakar, People's Democratic Party, were mostly based on responses gathered online. Since only 30% of Nigerians use the internet, cited World Bank report of 2020, we believe that these results are skewed towards urban, affluent voters who are most likely to support Obi. Even if these surveys were accurate at a national level, Obi's lack of support in Nigeria's Muslim majority north will make it difficult for him to win next year's election. Indeed, the North is home to the majority of all voters, and turnout in this part of the country tends to be relatively high, underscoring the importance of the Northern electorate. Indeed, the Labour Party is not even running candidates for the Senate and House of Representatives in many Northern constituencies. Furthermore, the Northern electorate historically tends to vote for presidential candidates from their region, with Obi being a Christian from the South, Anambra State. Increasing his vote share in the North will prove challenging. We expect that the party, which has nominated a Muslim ticket, will repeat its strong performance in the North. The results, the report, the strong performance of APC in the North in 2019 or historically will be repeated in 2023. And I'll prove it to you here that they are wrong. And I'll take them up one by one. First, Fitch lied that the opinion poll were basically online. It is not true. The NOI ANAP Foundation poll was not done online. That's a lie from the pit of hell. The NOI Poll Company Limited, which was formed in 2011 and started doing opinion poll or election poll since that 2011, is modeled after the Gallup poll in the United States, which I earlier told you that George Gallup, or under whose name the Gallup polls is named, started his company in 1935. They have a model which they use, and it is that model that NOI poll use. And what is that model? They use telephone polls. When they are want to conduct election poll, they do it by telephone. In America, they use landline because virtually every home has landline. In Nigeria, the NOI poll uses mobile phone because landline is virtually non-existent in Nigeria. So you can see that it is not true. Fitch lied on that. It is not true that it was internet-based. It was people were phone calls or people were connected. And those things are easy. If they release list of registered voters, you can see their names with their phone numbers. Based on that, you can call those names to find out who they will vote if the election were to be held today. So Fitch lied by claiming that the election was, the opinion poll was done online. It is not true. It is not true. They lied. It is not true. It was not done online. The same thing with We Together Foundation. In their opinion poll, they surveyed 15,438 registered voters. And this was not done online. Just like the Gallup poll system, they call people on phone to ask them, if the election is to take place today, who will you vote? That was how they did it. It was not an online poll. It wasn't done online. The only one that you can even begin to talk about that has to do with online was that the Bloomberg poll, in which they hired premise data company in America to do. In that case, they use app, information from app. Of course, you can go ahead and say, okay, the app, not everybody has that particular app that they use. It was an app-based poll. So if you don't have Android phone, you may not be able to participate in that. And there'll be one in that poll. That is the only one you can begin to talk about that is online. In that one, Peter Obi led his opponents by 72%. But you can't tell me that apps in Nigeria, the only people who owns apps, that owns Android phone, who could be able to be rich, are only supporters of Peter Obi. I don't believe it. The supporters of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu are so poor that they don't have Android phone. Supporters of Atiku they don't have Android phone. And they did this poll, and most of the people they reach were only those who support Peter Obi. I don't think it's true. I disagree on that. Now, Fitch also know that they were going on a bad territory. In the sense that even after saying this, they tried to demarcate the opinion poll. They now say even if the opinion poll were to be correct, that Peter Obi doesn't have the spread in the north. That's how they now turned it to be able to become president. Fitch said even if the polls were correct, that Obi will not get the support of the North because Northerners vote for one of their own. Okay, if Northerners vote for one of their own, is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu one of their own? Why would they vote for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Since, according to Fitch, Northerners vote for one of their own. Is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu one of their own? If they are to vote for one of their own, it means that they are going to vote either Rabiu Kwankwaso of NNPP or Atiku Abubakar of the PDP. So why would they now leave one of their own and go and vote for Tinubu? Since Fitch is telling us that Obi will not get the support of the North because Northerners vote for one of their own. Is Tinubu one of their own? That's a question for Fitch. and those who are already celebrating the Fitch prediction. So since Tinubu is not one of their own, as we all know, then it means the Northerners are not going to vote for him, if we have to go by that. It therefore means that the Northern votes will be shared between Atiku Abubakar and Rabiu Kwankwaso, and then Peter Obi and Tinubu. At the end of the day, it will make the Northern vote insignificant to make any difference in the election, which will work to the advantage of Peter Obi, who has already locked down South, South, and Southeast. And I keep saying it, that anybody who can lock 2 zones and then be able to hold North Central and Southwest can be able to become president in 2023. Now, the Fitch is also making an assertion that the North will vote for one of their own. This idea of not voting for one of their own, it is not always true that when North vote for one of their own, they will win. In 2003, go and check the results. North voted for General Muhammad Buhari. In 2007, Northeast, Northwest voted for General Muhammad Buhari. In 2011, this same North that command the highest registration of voters voted for Buhari, and he did not win. That is to demystify the lie that when Northeast and Northwest vote for you, automatically you will win. It is not true. Jonathan proved it in 2011. And Obasanjo proved it in 2003 and 2007. So what are we talking about? So Fitch did not get it right. Whoever they commissioned in Nigeria to help them write that report, they should go and collect their money back. They have been 419 because the person didn't do them a favor by giving them a fake report. Because it is no guarantee that if the Northeast and Northwest, which they are talking about, have highest numbers of registered voters, if they vote for you, that you're going to win. No. They voted for Buhari 2003. Buhari lost woefully. The same thing in 2007, 2011. It was only in 2015 when he was able to get support from North Central in particular, and then Southwest. Because if in 2015, I want to be proved wrong by anybody, if it were only because of the votes in Southwest, Buhari said would have been president. But it was in 2015, for the first time, that North Central states, like Plateau State, like Benue State, voted for Buhari. These people never voted for him before. That was the game changer. So on what ground is Bola Ahmed Tinubu going to make inroad in this North to be able to win it when you have Atiku and Kwankwaso in the ticket? And Fitch is telling us that Northerners vote for Northerner. When a Northerner is in the ticket, that's what they vote. They won't vote for one of their own. So that cuts off Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And if Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot win the North, because Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs to win the North, the whole of the North, before it stands a chance. And the whole of the North I'm talking about is Northeast and Northwest, because Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot win the Northwest, North Central, sorry. Because Northwest and Northeast, why people are giving him that he can do well in those places is because of the APC governors. Okay? But even the APC governors cannot control what people will vote for using the beavers. So that rules out the possibility of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu winning the presidency, because Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is going nowhere in southeast and south, and he is being challenged in the southwest effectively by Peter Obi. So of all the presidential candidates, it is Peter Obi that has locked down two electoral zones in Nigeria and making challenges in southwest, giving Tinubu a run for his money in Lagos, and then having a commanding lead in North Central, where already the Middle Belt Forum has endorsed him as their preferred presidential candidate. So he is the rightful person that is most likely to win the election than Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. Then Fitch Rating was also wrong to think that Nigerians would disregard the Muslim ticket. No. The Christians in Nigeria are not going to disregard the Muslim ticket of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu and hope to protest, because what Fitch is saying that after the election, then Christians will start protesting. I think they will protest with their votes before the election and not after the election. If any protest takes off after the election, it is going to be to challenge the rigging of the election. But they will make their protest using their vote, their protest against some ticket of APC, of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, on the election day. That's where the protest will take place. The post-election protest that will take place, as Fitch rightly pointed out, will be if the election is rigged. That one is very certain. That is why we hope that President Muhammadu Buhari will leave a legacy of electoral transparency, so that the election will be free and fair, and there will be no need for anybody to go to the street. Instead, people will be rejoicing that a new dawn has emerged. Also, Fitch failed to take cognizance of the poor performance of the APC in arriving at its conclusion. Look at the rate of the Naira in 2015 and the rate of the Naira today. Today, by Christmas, Naira is going to $1,000, 1,000 Naira to $1. A bag of rice today is almost 40,000 Naira, which is above the minimum wage. A recent report by Punch newspaper said that under President Muhammadu Buhari, over 53,000 Nigerians have been killed. So this thing doesn't account to anything that Nigerians will vote for APC, vote for Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. What is it going to do different from what APC have been doing since 2015? That Nigerians will vote for APC. Under their leadership, Nigeria has become the poverty capital of the world. Inflation is double digit. Unemployment is the highest in the world. Underemployment the highest in the world. Corruption the most corrupt country. One of the most corrupt countries in the world. Look at how much they are stealing from oil. Accountant General stole over 180 billion. So they will be rewarded for all this. In today's Nigeria, people cannot go to farm. The price of food stuff has skyrocketed because farmers cannot go to the farm. Farmers have been chased away from their communities. Bandits are running communities in Nigeria, taking over, determining who goes to farm and who doesn't. And under this climate, they will be re-elected. On what basis? As I talk to you, the American embassy is literally shut because Americans are fleeing Nigeria. Almost like what happened in Afghanistan when the Taliban were within few perimeters to Kabul. So that they will reward us what Bola Tinubu for all this, that they have done well. They deserve to be re-elected. No, I think Fitch got it wrong. I know that their this thing was not scientific at all. But even as subjective as it was, he could have taken cognizance of all this development and it would not come up with the kind of spurious projection that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, which means APC will be rewarded for the failures they have achieved. Like former President Obasanjo used to say, you cannot reinforce failure in the military. And that is the same thing that happens in the political space. There is no way Nigerians, after all this suffering, will return APC to the presidency if the election is done free and fair. And that is why all Nigerians, the international community, everybody must stand up to insist that the Electoral Act must be used to the letter and that nothing should be done to alter the Electoral Act under whatsoever excuse. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you will be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, share it widely, so that more people will know about what is happening, so that at the end of the day, we have a nation that we all will be proud of. Thank you and God bless you.